Today on the I'm Stuck in the 80s Says podcast, I'm going to be discussing 3 huge changes making their way to YouTube and some other stuff too, so go ahead and stick around. Let's jump right into it, and we are going to start with YouTube rolling out Discord-like communities, and this is something that they just announced a couple of weeks ago. I will throw a link in the episode notes and description in case you want to read a little bit more. I'm going to put down this back scratcher or I will be swinging it around the entire episode and hitting myself nonstop. This is a problem. All right. YouTube is updating their posts tab on YouTube channels to be more of a community tab. What this means, not only the YouTube channel owner, not only the content creator is going to be able to post to that tab, now anybody is going to be able to post to this tab once it is fully rolled out and out of testing. Initially, you may say, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. I get it. But then I thought a little bit more about it and realized this is just a channel-wide comment section. This used to exist. So in that regard, there's no real change. But there is something that differentiates it from the past. People can post images as well. And that always scares me because there are some terrible images out there. There are annoying GIFs. There are way too many memes. And when people have the opportunity to post memes on the internet, it seems as though that's a compulsion that people cannot avoid. They must do it. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of meme spam on these pages. There are 2 other big reasons why I am a bit skeptical on this, or why I think this may end up being a bad idea. First, because people can post images and GIFs, and that can be very annoying. But secondly, and more importantly, this has been recommended on the front page of YouTube. And that post is tied to your channel. I saw recommended posts over the last week from the Creator Insider channel from random people on YouTube that had just random GIFs that just said, "Good morning. I hope you have a good sleep. Go get 'em, tiger. You got this." That's very kind of people to post and say, and I am not trying to be rude here, but there's no value to that being recommended on the homepage of YouTube, regardless of how sweet that post is. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful evening too. I hope you go get them, sport, champ. You're gonna seize the day. Right back at you. But that does not belong on the YouTube homepage. And furthermore, this raises a bigger concern about moderation of these posts. If people can post images and anybody can post to this tab, and then those posts are tied to your channel and recommended on the homepage, what happens when somebody posts something inappropriate? What happens when somebody posts inaccurate information, then it's recommended, and somebody sees this is a post from Podcastage, or the Bandrew Says podcast, or Creator Insider? What happens then? If somebody isn't in the know and up to speed on the features of YouTube, they may assume that that channel posted that information. So I think there are a lot of concerns about what this is going to look like in the future and how those potential issues could be mitigated. Unfortunately, I am a stupid person, and I did not take any screenshots when I was seeing these posts on my homepage over the last week, but I don't love the idea of just posts from random people to random channels that I follow taking up my homepage. If I want to be a part of that community, I will go to the channel and click on the community tab. These do not need to be recommended. Perhaps they're just doing that because they want to draw attention to it and see if they can get the critical mass to make this feature viable. But if that is the plan to continue to promote these on the front page of YouTube, I don't like it. I am going to go ahead and share a recording I made of the Creator Insider Community tab because, let me reiterate again, I am not trying to speak poorly of these people. These posts are very sweet and kind and nice of them to say. And again, I hope you have a good morning, a good evening, have a good sleep, and go get 'em, champ. These are the posts that I saw on the Creator Insider channel, and I am just not a big fan of this. I just don't think there is anything of value that would justify them being posted to the front page. Some of them are interesting and do warrant a bit of a discussion. Why does click-through rate decrease when I get more views, or how do I improve my impressions, etc., etc.? There are some valuable discussions there, but I think those are discussions that ought to happen on the community tab and not on the homepage. I am hoping that they are putting it on the homepage just to test the viability of it. I don't like the idea of the community post recommendation bar for all the reasons that I already discussed. Do I think this will be good for creators? Maybe. Maybe if you don't have a community off of YouTube already that is developed and fully flourishing, this could be a good way to engage with people, allow the community to grow, allow users or viewers of your channel to communicate directly. But I don't know if this would have any other impact on growth, on performance, on anything like that. As far as engagement, cool. Maybe you'll get a better understanding of what your audience wants so you can fine-tune and improve your videos. But other than that, I see a lot of potential downsides to this. The primary one being random people's posts being associated with your channel. And if that post is inaccurate or inappropriate, that reflects very poorly on you, or could reflect very poorly on you if the person seeing it does not know what the heck this feature is. This reminds me of the YouTube recommended or related channels that used to exist. On your channel, you would have this auto-generated related channels, and you could not adjust that. You could not eliminate certain people from showing up there. So if somebody showed up there and they were a nefarious actor, they could change their name to whatever, their channel name to whatever, including swear words and other very inappropriate words, and it would show up there. And if somebody didn't know how that was generated, they could very easily assume that you were advocating or associated directly with that person and you approved of that language. So those are the downsides that I see there, but I will link a blog post about communities in the episode notes and description so you can read a bit more if you want. Next, we have YouTube auto dubbing, where YouTube will automatically generate a dubbed audio track for your video so people of different languages can enjoy it. I was sent a link from Dakki Reads, Dakki Reads, on my Discord, in my Discord. He also has a YouTube channel where he reads books. He makes audiobooks, so go check that out. But I am going to play a clip of this auto dubbing so you can hear the quality of it, and then we will reconvene and discuss.
In photography, if the camera is obviously important, there is an even more crucial element. And in film, it is even more true, since this element with the choice of film is really the only thing that will give the particular rendering to your images. So what is this mysterious element? Well, I am of course talking about the choice of your lens.
Yes, I agree completely. That sounds terrible. It sounds bad, it sounds artificial, but I still love it. for certain channels. It sounds like it is using some kind of AI technology. I think that's undeniable. But AI technology to separate the voice and the background music, and then essentially just deleting the existing voice and replacing it with a generated voice, a computer-generated voice. This leaves the background audio, the music, the effects, just the ambient noise sounding very artifacty, and the replacement voice sounds artificial because it is. That's really the end of the story, but it's important to remember this is the very first iteration of this tool. It is automatic, so it doesn't take any additional work from the content creator, from the video maker, and it is free. I think those are important to remember. But for a channel like Podcastage or any other channel that's similar to it where the audio that is recorded is paramount in importance, this feature is as good as useless because once the recorded audio is altered, it loses all its value because now you can't hear the microphone. Now you can't hear the audio. So in an instance like Podcastage, the auto-generated translation, the closed captioning, is going to be the ideal solution. For a channel like the Bandrew Says podcast, where you have 30, 45-minute episodes, it could be useful to reach people who speak a different language, but at the same time, I think it sounds so bad. I don't think many people are going to be watching or listening to 45 minutes of that voice. I just don't think that's really going to happen. I think they will find videos in their native tongue that sound a lot better and just watch those. They don't want to listen to that voice, which sounds terrible, when they could be listening to this voice that sounds terrible. They want to hear this as opposed to this. That was terrible. Like I said, terrible voice on top of terrible voice. I think there is a really big opportunity here, though. The real benefit of this, I think, is going to be information dissemination, information distribution, and primarily tech videos, primarily solution videos, really information-based videos. So that obscure issue that you're having where somebody made a video 10 years ago, it has 1,000 views, and it just so happens to be in another language, now you're going to easily be able to get the answer to your problem. I think that's where this will really benefit. The access of information that is not available in every single language. Because there's a lot of that. There are a lot of very obscure issues people encounter, and somebody may have encountered it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and they just live in a different part of the world. Now you can access that much easier. In that regard, I think this is amazing. I think this has a lot of potential. Again, for audio-based videos where the audio is the most important aspect, useless. Does it sound good? No, it sounds terrible. First iteration, though. For dramatic stuff, will this work? I doubt it. I cannot imagine. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. This is the most exciting thing I have ever heard. That's not exciting. You can't have that monotone presentation or... What's the right word? Why can't I think of the word? I need a robot to take over my brain. You can't have acting that is just monotone. Woe is I, the fear of the polar bear who fears the water. It doesn't work. So dramatic stuff, this is not going to be effective yet. Maybe in the future, the AI voice will be able to capture emotion, but for the time being, purely information videos is where I think this will shine and where the biggest potential lies. Again, I will throw links if you want to read a little bit more about this. Pretty cool. I hope we will see some interesting results in terms of distribution, video performance, accessibility, all of that. But only time will tell as this is rolled out. I want to see what the pushback would be if this rolls out on Podcastage. Oh my god, this guy sounds so stupid. He sounds so bad. That doesn't sound like the U87. I bet he didn't even use the U87 to record this. I bet that's one of those $20 U87s. I would love that. You know what? I am taking back everything that I said. I want this rolled out on Podcastage just so I can really sniff out the people who I'm going to stop before I say something mean. Let's jump to the next topic, YouTube voice replies. This is a feature that was announced in the latest Creator Insider video, and this is very exciting to me. What this means is actually, I'm going to go ahead and let the YouTuber Insider people tell you with this 30-second clip or so.
We're experimenting with a feature that enables creators to reply to comments with their voice. If you're a creator in the test group, you can navigate to one of your videos via the YouTube app, find a comment you want to respond to, tap reply, tap the sound wave icon, record a voice reply, and post it as a comment. While we gather feedback in the experiment phase, voice replies can only be left by creators on their own channel via main app on iOS, but all viewers and creators can engage with these comments. The max duration of a voice reply will be 30 seconds, and creators will be able to listen to and re-record their voice reply before posting. This test is rolling out to a small number of creators in the US, and we hope that voice replies enable more meaningful relationships between creators and their audiences. So let us know what you think.
That is right. Now you are going to be able to go into your YouTube comments section, hit reply, and then if there is a waveform icon, you can click on that, record a voice message reply, and send it. You are limited to 30-second replies, but I think that is plenty. I think this is really going to benefit those quick questions that you want to respond to but don't feel like typing. It's going to make those responses a bit more personal. I think a lot of people assume when larger channels are responding, it's not actually the person responding. This could give you that more personal touch, and I think that's pretty cool. I think they do need to add one really important feature or add-on to this, and that would be automatic generated text transcripts of the voice message. For two reasons. One, because sometimes people cannot listen to audio, so giving them the text as well resolves that issue. That information is now accessible at all times, whether you want the text or whether you want the audio. And secondly, much more importantly, accessibility. If it is only an audio response, only people who can hear that audio have access to that information. If somebody lacks hearing, this would allow them to still get benefit from that information in that response. So I think adding a text transcript is very important. And I hope they do that because that would be very beneficial for those two reasons. And also, queryability. This would allow the information in that voice message to be searchable on Google, on a search engine, and hopefully be better for long-term archiving and access to that information. That's the only suggestion I have. I think this is a great feature. I know some people hate voice messages so bad because they can't listen at all times, because they find it uncomfortable or awkward to send or receive them, but that just makes me enjoy it all the much more. I love sending voice messages. It's so great, especially knowing that it makes somebody uncomfortable. Just, I don't like sending voice messages. Okay, I'm going to send you one. Maybe that's wrong of me, but whatever. It's like calling somebody knowing that it's that they don't like phone calls. It's funny. Maybe it's not funny. Maybe I'm just a jerk. I don't know. That's really all there is to it. I want to address something. I think 2 out of 3 of these features have a lot of potential, are great. And I understand YouTube is not making these features for the goodness of their creators. They are doing it because they are hoping and believing that the addition of these voice responses, the auto dubbing, the community is going to improve their bottom line. Let's harbor no delusions here. YouTube is not some wonderful company that just cares about each and every one of us. They are a corporation whose main goal is ensuring profitability and growing profitability. That's fine. These two features are still awesome. These are still really cool features, and I am thrilled they are doing it. And it's awesome to see a platform that does continue to develop features, even if it is to improve their bottom line, because these features still do benefit us, or at least have the potential to benefit us. And really, they don't need to do this. They don't need to add these features because, in my opinion, the platform was great before. But maybe they do. Who knows? I just wanted to address that, yeah, maybe they do have ulterior motives, but the feature, 2 out of 3 of these features still have pretty awesome potential. That is it for the news. Pretty cool updates from YouTube. Let us jump to what I have been testing, and nobody's going to understand what that was, and I apologize. You are listening to it. I am on the Shure PGA 181. This is a small diaphragm side address condenser microphone from Shure, if I did not mention that. $100, bright, not super robust in the low end, but it's fine. Built like a tank, no resonance whatsoever. Utilitarian $100 microphone. That's about it. Let us go ahead and jump to what you had to say, and we have one comment from Record216 Cleveland. He says, many episodes ago, I remember your review of Adobe AI Enhance and your overall thoughts on it. You mentioned that it would be better to invest in a proper recording setup rather than rely on a plugin like that. Over time, I've come to agree with that perspective. Now, when it comes to the Elgato AI noise removal tool, I don't feel like it really addresses the root of the problem. Instead of using the software to remove background noise, it makes more sense to figure out why the noise is there in the first place. The real solution is improving the recording environment, whether that means upgrading to a better room, a better microphone, a better interface, or even better cables. So my final thoughts on the Elgato AI noise removal tool, I reject it. Record216, thank you very much for the comment. I want to clarify something. I think the best course of action for noise removal is not using a plugin, but actually addressing the noise within the studio. That is a position that I have had for a long time that has not changed. And in the last episode, I wasn't really clear about that when I was demoing the Elgato AI noise removal plugin. As suspected, the AI noise removal is very destructive. It alters your audio significantly, and I don't think it sounds great. But just like the Adobe Podcast AI, it does exactly what it says it's going to do. It removes the background noise. For people like you and I who are audio enthusiasts, this is not going to cut the mustard because it alters the sound of our recording significantly and, in our opinions, makes it sound bad. So instead of using one of these plugins, we're going to be inconvenienced. Let's go with that. To improve the audio quality. We're going to shut off fans. We're going to shut off air conditioning. We're going to place microphones to improve the rejection of street noise. We're going to do whatever we can in the analog realm to improve that audio quality and reduce the amount of background noise that makes it into the microphone. But in reality, most people do not think that way. They don't care that much. Maybe they just don't hear the artifacting. So for many people, I got a lot of pushback when I demoed the Adobe Podcast AI and said, I think this sounds bad. You should get your audio right before you hit record instead of using this. I had people say, hey, I use this on every video and it sounds great. I went, listened to their videos, and they use it in every video, and to my ears, it does not sound great, but to each their own. So in reality, for us audio enthusiasts, for us who care a lot about getting the best sound quality as we can, this isn't going to be good enough. Adobe Podcast AI or Elgato AI noise removal or the RTX whatever video card noise removal, none of it's going to be good enough. But for a lot of people who do not care or know much about audio, this means they're going to be able to keep their air conditioning running while they play their games and stream. And for them, this is going to be more than sufficient, and they will think it is magic. So I want to reiterate, I think to get the best audio quality, manage the noise in the analog realm. Get the audio as good as you possibly can before you hit record. Do not use one of these plugins unless it is the absolute last resort and you are going to throw out the audio entirely. Because these plugins are destructive and they don't sound very good. But for most people, they'll ignore that and they will just use it and continue to have as much background noise as they want because all they care about is intelligibility. And it still offers that, even though it sounds bad. Thank you very much, Record216. I appreciate you. And now let us jump to the value for value section because this is a V for V podcast. What that means is I do not have ads. I do not have a paywall. I just put the show out there, and if you enjoy it, you send that value back to me, whether it be time, talent, or treasure. You can do so by going to podcastage.com/support or leaving a super thanks right here on YouTube. Or, if you don't want to send money, that's fine. Share this podcast with somebody you know who may benefit from it or enjoy it. First up, we have a super thanks from Henrique, or @IncrediblyHandsome, $2 and he says, highly underrated Valentine's Day horror film is Valentine from 2001. It's so a product of its time, and it's great. Also, we covered My Bloody Valentine last year, and it's such a fun flick with great trivia. Henrique, thank you very much for the $2 super thanks, and thank you very much for the recommendation of Valentine, which I already owned, and it was sitting on my coffee table ready to be watched on Valentine's Day. This is one of those Scream Factory releases that I have been mentioning lately, and this is an absolute blast of a watch if you like the slasher genre. The reason that I like this one so much is because it is not just a stab 'em up, it is not just torture porn, but it also has the whole whodunit kind of aspect. Do they leave enough breadcrumbs for you to figure it out? No, but at least there's some mystery there, and it's not just, this is a force of nature like Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees. Although the first Friday the 13th kind of had that whodunit as well. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. But again, do they leave enough breadcrumbs for you to really figure out who the killer is? No. This is not high mystery art. It's a slasher with a little bit of mystery to it. If you're looking for a good slasher from the early 2000s and you like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer guy, I don't know his name. Angel. He played Angel. If you like him or other people, it is definitely worth a watch. A really fun Valentine's Day slasher horror movie. Enrique, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Next, we have €50 from none other than, say it with me, Takmed Rainer Richter! And he says, Danke. Rainer, thank you very much for the €50 and the continued support. It really does mean a lot to me. It helps keep this show running, keep the bills paid for hosting, for lighting, for all of that. So thank you very much, Raina as well as Henrique. It is thanks to both of them that this show is ad-free and running this week. So thank you, and leave a little thank you note to them. All right, I think that is it for this week's episode. Maybe next week we will escape the 80s, but I doubt it. Thank you for coming by. I hope you have an amazing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Sunday, I will be back. I will be talking at you, with you, about you. I don't know what that was. I love you so much, and I hate myself more and more every time I record this. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Whoa, whoa. Boop.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.